So how do I get better at defense?
That's what we're going to be going over in this episode of Game Plans presented by the Army National Guard. Okay, so defense is honestly simpler than offense when it really comes down to it. There's really like two things that you really want to focus on. One is what's called your user inside the game. Now, a lot of people, when they first start playing Madden, they usually user the defense alignment and they just kind of try rushing the passer. And the issue with that is you're only doing such a small thing that the AI can already do a pretty good job of doing. Instead, what you want to do with your user is typically hop back on one of these linebackers. And what you want to do is try to user different routes going over the middle of the field, or you want to try to user the run, like the handoff if they're handing the ball off, and really trying to focus on getting your user to make an impact on the play. Because you have 11 players on defense, but you have one user who can go all the way from the left side of the field all the way to the right side of the field. The next thing that you really want to focus on is understand where your weaknesses are, especially in the pass game. For example, right now, if you look, we're in a cover 4 shell. We have 4 deep zones, and then we have a flat on each side, which is represented by that purple zone. And so really where we're vulnerable is the intermediate middle of the field, right?
Yeah.
You see the deep middle's taken care of, deep sideline's pretty taken care of, short sideline taken care of, middle of the field's kind of open. So as a user, I know I'm like, okay, that's really where my focus needs to be. And that can change kind of as you go throughout a game. You know, maybe I want to really take away underneath now. You know, maybe we go to like a cover 2 defense. Now you see the entire middle of the field's kind of taken care of, right? But a huge worry now might be the deep middle, or it could be, you know, kind of these sidelines a little bit. So it's really a big thing is understanding, you know, your user and where you want to be in your user assignment. Try to almost guess what the play is.
Are you saying like, guess if it's a run or a pass?
Yep. If it is a run, what way is it going? Your user needs to go that way. Is it a pass? What routes are kind of happening right now? What does it look like they're running? Because eventually throughout the game, most people, like we talked about, kind of mastering 1 to 5 plays on offense. That's how most people play the game. So if you recognize when they run this route, they almost always throw to this receiver, then your user can start taking it away. But while you're playing, was there like something that kind of got you into the National Guard? Was there somebody that you kind of looked up to put you on this path?
Yeah, so my stepdad, who served about 20 years, he was my coach through all of my sports programs. So I really got to see what kind of man he was and the way he carried himself. I decided it was right for me.
One of the things I think that's been cool is the amount of options I think it opens up for people. His ability to learn real skills, the ability to continue on in the Guard if you want to, or the education that they've helped pay for, and to go do your own thing later on as well. I think it's really cool. One thing you could do kind of a more advanced adjustment is if you were to press Y and you could push down on the right stick. Now look at your play art now. You see how those flats turned into hard flats? They're gonna play the really short flat on both sides of the field, so like 0 to like 5 yards.
So I have the ability to change how deep I want that.
Yep, so if you shade that, if you flick the right stick up, now they're gonna play in cloud flats and they're gonna play a little bit higher, basically. Let's see this play work out right here. Let's see, they snap it, let's see. Boom, and right here, so
I saw him right there.
Yep, and you want to be a little bit more patient. You see that route coming to you?
I did see that.
Yep, just sit.
definitely need to be more patient, for sure.
Right, but the big thing right there is that you were able to see it. So let's just go through, get some more reps of this. Honestly, it's going to be the same defense every time, so really just try to match your user. The tips of the user and then really understanding how your defense can get exploited is kind of the keys to building a really good defense, and that's really what I wanted to go over in this episode of Game Plans.